So today we're talking about scientific notation. In science, we deal with very large numbers. For example, 1 mole equals 602 and all those zeros. In science, we deal with some very small numbers as well. For example, the mass of an electron is all those zeros, 91 kilograms. To deal with that, we write things in scientific notation. It's a method of representing very small or very large numbers in the following form, where m represents a number between 1 and 10, and n is an integer. So when dealing with very large numbers, our first step is to decide where the decimal point must end. There's only one number to its left. It's very important that we only have one number. So for this case, the decimal point is going to end up between the 2 and the 5. We're going to count how many places you move the decimal point. So we can move the decimal point in all those spots, and we count them, and that's going to be 9. We're then going to rewrite it in the form of m times 10 to the nth. So that's going to be 2.5 times 10 to the 9th. Notice that there's only one number in front of the decimal point, and then that 9 comes from the 9 spots that we moved it. So let's practice that. So for the first one, we only want one number in front of the decimal point, so we're going to end up between that 7 and the 4. And we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the answer is going to be 7.45 times 10 to the 9th. All right, let's do that again. So we only want one number in front of the decimal point, which will be the 6. We're going to end up with it right there. And then move that decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be 6.023 times 10 to the 6. Now the reason we have that 0, 2, 3 is that we want all the numbers that are left, but we can get rid of the zeros at the end. So very small numbers. The first thing we're going to do is decide where the decimal must end. So once again, there's only one number to the left. So for this case, it's going to be between the 5 and the 7 because then we'll only have that 5 in the front. So we're going to count how many places we want to move the decimal point. And move it over, and that's 5. We're going to rewrite it. So we're going to rewrite it to be 5.79 times 10 to the negative 5th. It's negative because we started with a number less than 1. So let's practice that. So first, let's figure out where that decimal is going to go. We want one number in front, so it's going to go here between the 2 and the 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 2.39 times 10 to the negative 5th. Again, that's a negative number because we started with a number smaller than 1. All right, let's do that again. You're going to have one number in front of the decimal point, which in this case is a 1. So it's going to go right here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. 1.3 times 10 to the negative 3rd. All right, remember it's negative because we started with a number smaller than 1. All right, so let's go the opposite way. Let's move it into standard notation, so our normal numbers. So it's moving numbers out of scientific notation. So if the exponent is positive, you'll move the decimal to the right. Okay, so positive to the right. In this case, we have 6.3 times 10 to the 5th. The exponent is positive. We're going to have 6.3. We're going to move it decimal point to the right 5 times. That's going to be 1. And then we're going to fill it in with zeros. Okay. So that becomes 6, 3 with those 4 zeros we added. And that's our answer when we put it in standard notation. Oops, forgot I written it. Sorry, guys. All right, so if the exponent is negative, we're going to move it to the left instead. In case we have 2.9 times 10 to the negative 5. That's a negative. So if we do that, 2.9, we're going to move that decimal point 5 times. Let's fill in those spots with zeros. Okay. And that becomes 0.00029. So we've added an extra 0 point at the front. These are all the ones we added. Practice that. So I have 7 times 10 to the 4th. That's a positive. So we're going to move it to the right. So 7. That's 1 point here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be add the zeros where our bumps are. And it becomes 70,000. Okay, this one, we have it to the negative. So I want to move it towards the left. I have 2.3. I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put zeros in. Remember, we add that 0 point at the front, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. That's our answer. Let's practice that one more time. Here I have a positive, so I'm going to move it towards the right. So I have 5.73. Do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fill in the zeros. And then it's going to be 5, 7, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Put in our commas. There's our answer. Okay, let's do this one. That is a negative, so we're going to move it to the left. 6.22. I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill in my zeros. Remember to put the 0 point at the beginning. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 6, 2, 2. There's our answer. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do scientific notation, and we're going to talk about multiplying. So here's how we multiply scientific notation. So we have two numbers, 2 times 10 to the 6th times 7 times 10 to the 3rd. Okay. Our first step is to multiply those base numbers. And by base numbers, I mean the 2 and the 7. Okay. So 2 times 7 equals 14. Then our next step is to add the exponents. So when we multiply, we add. Okay. So we're going to have 6 plus 3, so that'll be 10 to the 9th. And then we put it all together, and that becomes 14 times 10 to the 9th. So when we multiply, we're going to add the exponents, but we just do the front part like normal. Okay, so what about dividing? When we divide, we're going to do this. Here's how we divide using scientific notation. So once again, we're going to take those base numbers, that 12 and 4, and just divide them like normal. That's going to be 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Then we're going to subtract the exponents. So 6 minus 3 is going to be just 10 to the 3rd. So we're going to take that 6 minus the 3, the exponents, and subtract them. So then we put the numbers back together. And that equals 3 times 10 to the 3rd. Let's practice that. So the first one, the very first thing you need to do is double check on what you're doing. So here we are going to be multiplying. So let's first take our base numbers. So 2 is 3. So 2 times 3 equals 6. And then I want you to then we're going to take the exponents. We have that 5 and the 2. And we're going to do 5 plus 2. Remember, when we multiply, we add. That's going to be 7. And then we're going to put it all together. So we're going to have 6 times 10 to the 7th. Okay, what about the next one? It is division. So once again, we're just going to take the base numbers and do it normal. So we have 8 divided by 4, which is 2. Using the front numbers, those base numbers. Then I'm going to take the exponents. Remember, we're dividing, so we're going to subtract. We're going to do 10 minus 6 is equal to 4. And then we put it all together. So we have 2 times 10 to the 4th. All right.